There is a kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. You wake up tired, not in your body, but in your mind. Thoughts replay. Scenarios repeat. Focus slips away before the day even begins. Most people believe the solution is to think better thoughts, to motivate themselves, to fight the mind. Stoicism teaches the opposite. The problem is not that your mind is broken. The problem is that it has no discipline. A mind without structure will always drift toward fear, distraction, and noise. And the more you engage with every thought, the more control you lose. Freedom does not come from arguing with your mind. It comes from governing it. In this video, you won't learn how to feel better. You'll learn how to take command and build a mind that stays clear, focused, and unshaken, even under pressure. Way 1. Stop believing. Every thought. Most people live as if every thought in their head is a command. A worry appears, and they obey it. A fear arises, and they treat it like truth. This is how the mind becomes a prison. Stoicism begins with a hard distinction. A thought is not a fact. It is only an impression. Epictetus made this clear centuries ago. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The moment you believe every thought, you surrender authority. The moment you question it, you regain control. A Stoic does not argue with thoughts. He observes them. He lets them pass without granting permission. When you stop automatically believing what appears in your mind, clarity returns. Focus sharpens. And for the first time, you decide what deserves your attention. Way 2. Label the thought. Then detach. Toxic thoughts gain power when you merge with them. You don't just have the thought, you become it. Fear feels like reality. Doubt feels like identity. Stoicism teaches separation. Instead of arguing with a thought, name it. This is fear. This is ego. This is insecurity. The moment a thought is labeled, it is no longer in control. It becomes an object, something you observe, not something you obey. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of this daily. You don't have to turn this into something. Most people analyze their thoughts to exhaustion. Stoics do the opposite. They create distance, and distance creates dominance. When you stop identifying with every mental impulse, your mind quiets naturally. Focus returns, not through force, but through detachment and clarity. Way 3. Remove mental triggers ruthlessly. If your mind feels toxic, look at what you allow into it. Most people blame their thoughts, but the real problem is exposure. Constant news, endless scrolling, conversations filled with complaint, gossip, and fear. A polluted environment produces a polluted mind. Stoicism was never about enduring everything. It was about choosing wisely. Seneca warned that the mind takes the shape of what it repeatedly consumes. What you expose yourself to trains your inner voice. A Stoic does not argue with noise. He removes it. Distance is not avoidance. It is strategy. When you cut off mental triggers, clarity returns without effort. Focus becomes natural, because a calm mind is not created by force. It is protected by strong boundaries. Way 4. Replace overthinking with physical discipline. An undisciplined body creates an undisciplined mind. Most overthinking is not a thinking problem, it is unused energy. When the body is idle, the mind looks for problems to solve, and often invents them. The Stoics understood this well. They did not separate mental strength from physical order. Movement was not fitness, it was regulation. Epictetus taught that self-control begins with training, not reflection. Walking, training, cold routines, repetition. These acts pull attention out of imagination and back into reality. A Stoic does not sit still and wait for clarity. He creates it through action. As the body is worked, the mind quiets. Thoughts lose urgency. Focus sharpens. Because a tired body does not overthink. it rests in control. Way 5, focus only on what you can control. Most toxic thoughts come from one mistake: trying to control what was never yours. Other people's opinions, the past, outcomes you can't guarantee. Stoicism draws a hard line. There are things under your control: your actions, your effort, your character. And there are things that are not. Mental clarity returns the moment you stop crossing that line. Epictetus built his entire philosophy on this single rule. Suffering begins where control ends. A Stoic does not waste focus on speculation. He returns to responsibility. What can I do right now? What action is required? When attention is anchored in effort, the mind has no space to spiral. Focus is not forced, it is earned by staying loyal to what depends on you. Way 6, use silence as mental armor. Not every thought deserves a response. Not every emotion deserves expression. Most people exhaust their minds by reacting to everything. Explaining, venting, replaying conversations that are already over. Stoicism teaches restraint. Silence is not avoidance, it is containment. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you always have the option of having no opinion. This is not a weakness, it is power. When a thought arises, you don't have to chase it, you don't have to justify it, you don't have to share it, you let it pass. A Stoic understands this. What you do not express cannot dominate you. As you practice silence, the mind stops performing. It settles. Focus deepens. Because a quiet mind is not empty, it is protected. Way 7, build a daily mental order. A free mind is not created by insight. It is built through structure. Most people wait to feel clear before acting. Stoics reverse the order. They act first, and clarity follows. Mental chaos comes from days without design. When nothing is planned, the mind fills the gaps with noise. Marcus Aurelius disciplined his mind with simple rituals. Set intentions in the morning, review actions at night. Not journaling for emotion, but accounting for character. What did I do well? Where did I lose control? This daily order keeps thoughts from wandering unchecked. Focus becomes a habit, not a struggle. You don't need to control every thought. You need to control your days. When your days are disciplined, your mind naturally follows. Freedom is command. Stoicism does not promise a silent mind. Thoughts will still appear. Doubts will still surface. The difference is this: they no longer rule you. A free mind is not one that feels calm all the time. It is one that remains directed. When you stop believing every thought, create distance from what poisons you, discipline the body, and return your focus to what you can control, the mind stops drifting. It stands firm. You don't need to escape your thoughts. You need to govern them. This is the Stoic path. Not comfort, not distraction, but command over yourself. In pressure, in silence, and in chaos. When you master the world within, the noise outside loses its authority. That is real focus. That is real freedom.